We live?
Yes, we are.
All
What up,
right.
people?
What's going on?
We back.
What's goody?
We in this thing.
I'm in a hoodie.
Yeah, because it's chilly.
Because it's chilly in the Villy.
In the Philly. Going to get into rap shit, babe.
Cool. 100K spread across the flow. Yeah. None of y'all fucking with the flow. Yeah. Years in the making. And don't y'all mistake it. I got him by a landslide. We talking about races. You know this will never be a tie. Just look at their laces.
Mm-hmm.
You know careers take off. Just got to be patient.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. 1 through 5. That's the only logic.
Mm-hmm.
Fake my death. And I'll leave it at that.
That's the only option. Yeah. That is the prophet Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
Let's see. Talk about vacations.
This is tough, guys. I made this a little tougher. I picked a very in the weeds verse.
If I gotta slap a pussy ass nigga, I'm gonna make it look sexy.
Very good.
Yeah. If I gotta go hard on a bitch, I'm gonna make it look sexy. Hey. Like
Pull up, hop out.
And route, made it look sexy.
Boop, 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 boop.
They won't take me in my element.
So the song?
Element.
The album?
Yeah. Damn.
There we go.
Damn if you do.
Very good.
Don't,
That took you no time at all.
Listen,
That took
when
you
it
no
comes
time at
to
all.
Kendrick Lamar.
I was kind of
Okay.
surprised. I should have said it backwards.
Yeah. See, really would have tested
Fair
my
enough.
my IQ for sure. No, that was
Yeah,
a
man.
hard one for sure. Like, I absolutely love that album. My God.
I remember the first week it came out, man. I was going to stroll practice and I pulled up in the parking garage or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Hopped out. First thing one of my neos was like, yo.
Mm-hmm.
You heard it?
Yeah.
Yo.
Yo. Brother.
Oh my God. This is early when people was like, oh, he got another one coming called Nation. It's gonna be 2. It's a double disc. It's a damn Nation. You play it in reverse. Like it was because that was a thing for a minute. That he had like another one coming.
And then he really spun people when we realized that the duality in the album was in the
It is 2
listening.
albums. Yeah.
It was in the listening order. That was absolutely crazy. The only rapper in history to win a Pulitzer Prize. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Writer.
he's brilliant.
He is.
He's brilliant.
Yeah, man. We're gonna get into that a little bit later too.
Oh my goodness.
But you wanna say what up to the people?
Yeah, man. So sorry. I just realized that Surrey was listening to my entire conversation and was transcribing it. Hey, yo, this computer foolishness, this phone nonsense. I must have pressed the button or something because I'm in my notes and I look down and I see that it's like typing. I'm like, hey, yo, what's going on? Anyway, listen, the computers are taking over. We have no hope. So welcome back, friends. Oh my goodness. It's so good to see y'all.
It's good.
On this amazing Monday, kicking off your week, okay? At the top of that thing. Before we do anything else, all right, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Yeah, I ain't even got to tell y'all what you're listening to. Just subscribe, okay? I'm going to get into it afterwards. Go and hit the button. I'll wait for you. It's okay. You good?
Ding.
All right. Excellent. So now you are tuned into the One Thing for Certain podcast where myself, Holly King, and my husband,
Carrot King.
we talk about all the stuff that married people like to talk about, honey.
Indeed.
And that is a specific curated menu, okay, of whatever the hell we feel like talking about. We into the things. This is our time to catch up,
Facts.
reconnect, and we wanted to do it with y'all, our internet friends. So
Facts.
if you're into that, if that's your jam, if that's your stilo, if you're into it, then make sure that you come back and follow us on all the things. Comment, like, subscribe, share that thing with anybody that you like, that you don't like. Hey, we don't discriminate, okay? Because it's going to be a good time regardless, all right? Okay, without further ado, we're going to jump into this thing with our current obsessions.
Cool. Who's going first?
You know what? I can go ahead and go.
Cool.
I can kick it off. So I don't know if y'all have been checking it out, but my current obsession this week is season 2 of Rhythm and Flow.
Fire.
Bro, it has been a
Good
minute.
choice. Fire.
Rhythm and Flow. For
Let me
those
look
of you
up in the
guys who,
first
yeah,
season.
please do. For those of you guys who do not know,
mental.
is actually a rap competition series on Netflix. The first season was hosted by T.I., Chance the Rapper, and Cardi B. Okay, they basically get talent from all over the country to come in and show their skills in rapidy rap.
First season was 2019.
2019. That was actually, I vividly remember that was, I know 2019 was, the year of COVID, but that was like
It was October too.
Yeah, but it was towards the end, like December, and then into January is when it like really hit. But so the first season of Rhythm and Flow was pre-COVID. That's how long ago it was,
right before it,
which is literally before we were blipped.
Yeah,
like Thanos with the pandemic.
An involuntary leap year.
Yeah, an involuntary leap year. I'm supposed to be 2 years younger than I am right now. I still want those years back. And as far as I'm concerned, I am changing my birth. Because it was
birthday.
Yeah, I am. I'm 2 years younger because the pandemic robbed us. Anywho, it was a show that aired then, and it was really good. The winner of last season was D Smoke.
It's basically a big ass talent show, right?
A big old talent show in which they host. They allow other guests, MCs and artists to come on and give the new. I guess to give the contestants critiques, and they go through a series of different like challenges and performances and
producers,
things like
that. Like they give them a lot of stuff to.
They do
compete.
Yeah, we really
battle
enjoyed
rap,
the first season. It was excellent, and this season, it's a completely new like hosting cast. It is now with Ludacris,
Lotto,
Big Lotto,
Big Mama,
okay, and the DJ Khaled.
Khaled,
he
man,
up there with all his Beijing looking, just looking crisp.
Come on now.
Lots of contrast. You know what I'm saying? It's like ski. He's looking good.
Y'all know how Khaled do.
Listen, he gonna come out fresh. All right, he's going to look like newly pressed linens every single time. I see him and I'm like,
true.
God damn, you are rich. You can just see it. The sheen on the silks he has is outrageous.
You know who else you can see it on too? Ludacris.
He looks phenomenal. His skin regimen is
stupid,
outrageous. Whoever his barber is, whoever his hairstylist is, the way he has kept himself up. I mean, I know hip hop as a genre pickles all of those who are good to it.
Yeah, who treat it well.
Everybody who treats hip hop well, she will treat you well.
100%.
Like I'm talking about our legends, our goats.
100%.
They look good.
I just saw a video of Nas in the studio with Dr. Dre, and I'm like, Dr. Dre is almost 60.
Come on.
And Nas is 50.
Wow.
They both look like 20 and 30 years old.
I think someone should get on top of this and create a hip hop like skincare line, because the moisturization that is obviously in all these black men, is absolutely legendary. But Ludacris is looking phenomenal.
Yeah, Lotto is looking. Lotto look great, man.
Ethereal.
Yes.
She
regal.
Is just, I mean, if a
young queen, man, that girl,
just a tall glass of milk, just
yeah.
She's just so beautiful, okay. And like I said, DJ Khaled is up there just looking like money. So what I was really impressed by was the dynamic of these three new hosts. Ludacris,
leader,
100% the leader. I was most impressed by his like level of feedback that he gives every single time that I'm like, nah, they trash. Go ahead and get him out of here. He takes so much care. Even when you boo-boo, he's just, he is calculated with what he's telling you need to work on.
They are kind. I will give them,
They were so patient.
Yeah, because on some, I think on these shows historically, you look at like American Idol or The Voice or whatever, early days of American Idol, when American Idol was the biggest thing in America, like, Simon was just he would he would just be like, why are you here?
But a part of that was like shock jock, right?
True.
A part of it was a part like
Paula Abdul would never say anything bad.
Never. They definitely had roles, and I'm sure they have roles as well. But this is hip hop, so
It
it's
feels
different.
it feels balanced.
I think it feels incredibly balanced. I think it makes perfect sense to have two, like a GOAT level MC,
current MC who's a woman,
queen of the new school,
and a producer,
sure, and a producer,
one of the producers,
right? It makes perfect sense to me. But I really like their dynamic together. I feel like maybe they're kind right now in the beginning because it is the beginning. Right?
Oh yeah, once they get to
it is the first like installment of those things. But once they really get into the stuff, like I'm pretty sure that they're not going to have any time for it. But the contestants are really good. There were so many people up there that I was so pessimistic about. I was like, I don't know if they're gonna be up.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
Them, and then they came out and just impressed me.
Yeah, that's a interesting thing about the show where like they come out and they're so new.
Yes,
they're so
they are
raw,
clean,
and so they don't. Some of them may not have you. They're not 100. They're not even 50% of what they could be, and so we see things where like someone will come out on stage, and the takeoff.
Oh yeah, it's slow.
It's a slow takeoff. But when they get up there and they get comfortable,
there are two artists I want to talk about. One of which I can't remember the young lady's name. You may have to look her up for me, but you know who I'm talking about. I showed her with the long braids.
Oh yes.
We're gonna come back to her as soon as you find her name for me. But there were two artists in particular from this first like installment of the show that I was really, really surprised by. Dre TL. Okay, not for nothing. When I saw his name, I said, "Is this nigga named Dreidel?" Because if his name is Dreidel, I can't get behind it. But his name is Dre TL, and when I tell you, I did not have very high expectations for this young man. Not for any reason in particular. I just felt as like there was nothing about his stage presence or nothing about his presence prior to him getting on stage that I was just like, I don't know. He just doesn't seem like he's going to have a very commanding energy when he hits the stage.
Is it Dono? I think it's Dono.
Yes, Dono. Yeah, Dono. Yes, I was wrong. Please watch it just for his. I think the episode is actually named after his song.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had
episode is named after the song that he performed.
Yeah, Dre TL, because they do the little synopsis of them and their life and stuff.
They give you a little profile,
like a little profile bio of them. And the minute I heard him talk, and it's Atlanta, so the minute I heard him talk, I was like, this nigga sound like Baby, just a little bit. And
Lil Baby,
and so it threw right,
Lil Baby, cause
Lil Baby. So it didn't concern. It made me think. It's like, wait a minute, because when I hear him talk, I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna go. But then I reminded myself, I was like, well, Baby kind of talk like that, so it may translate to a good performance and potentially a decent rapper.
Right, there was something familiar about how he sounded,
and sure enough, I mean. And
while I feel like there were like his tone is reminiscent of him, I feel as though his specific style still sets him apart.
There are pockets, and we're getting into the weeds. But there are pockets that I heard him get into that Baby doesn't, and that's not a shade or nothing like that. It's just it makes it.
There's a lane for him to traverse there for sure, and 100%. I was really impressed by him. So 100%. Dre TL was super dope. I'm excited to see how he does in the rest of the competition. And Dono. Beautiful young lady who graced the stage. You could tell from her song that her penmanship, her ability to write was there because she was incorporating melodies. And then when she started to rap, it was really good. It reminded me a lot of the trajectory of the performance that Lauryn Hill did when she performed at Showtime at the Apollo. It was basically the very first time she had ever performed like in an audience of that. Like it's basically considered her breakout moment. And she was in the process of getting booed. And she was just too far away from the mic and nobody could hear her. And like right before the Sandman came and got her, she just took one step closer and the entire audience just like kind of hushed. Dono's performance had that type of trajectory because we were like, in the beginning we were like,
she started off quiet. She was holding the mic. She was kind of timid on stage.
Her melody wasn't like the part of the song that she wrote that requires singing was the pitch was a little off. The key was off. But I mean, it took a minute to get started, but when she finished,
it was fire.
It was definitely a moment. So super, super impressed with the caliber of talent that they have. Also, all these people like audition prior. So it's not like American Idol in which you're going to see like a series of people who bomb, right?
Yeah, but
there's a couple of people who get on there and sometimes the moment is bigger than they can handle.
Yeah, we saw that too. And they, it's a show. So there is a certain level of like production that goes into it. For sure. To kind of weed out a little bit. But I think, and I could be wrong, I think that the time when they get on this, and Big Sean was a special guest. I don't know if you said that. Big Sean was a special guest. When they get in front of them and actually perform in that moment, I don't know if they do that twice. I think that's the first time.
Yes.
They practice. And they have some of the same beats too. So they obviously give them, here's a selection of beats that you can use and da-da-da-da. When they step on that, and they're standing right in front of
I
the
feel
four.
like when you come from backstage and you see the first people you see are the judges.
100%.
And these
staring
are
right
juggernauts. In one of the episodes, Busta Rhymes was a guest. Without question, one of the most prolific performers and lyricists ever.
Period.
Ever.
Seeing Busta Rhymes and Luda in the same thing is crazy.
It's insane.
The videos.
And we talk about that head. Goodness. Wow. Busta Rhymes has a massive head.
Man, stop it, man.
It's crazy.
Leave Busta alone, man.
It almost didn't fit in the screen. It's wild, man.
I wish he kept his dreads. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know why he cut them.
Dreads, a lot of maintenance and they get heavy. And if your hair is starting to thin, then it can,
Fair enough.
And I remember when he cut his dreads. He cut his dreads when his mom cut her dreads. I think because she was going through chemo or something like that, or sense. She was starting about. So he was enough. "You cut your locks, I'm gonna cut mine," and that's what he did it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, shout out to Busta Rhymes. I absolutely adore him. He is
great critique too.
Excellent. The speech that he gave as to why he was out there, the tone he set. Yeah. I would have been shitting myself in the back. I would have pooed.
Yeah,
I would have had bubble guts. He wasn't playing. He was very clear. He was like, I want to make sure that hip hop has another 50 years. Yeah. Like, essentially, who are we passing this baton on to?
I mean,
no, he was 100% right. This is an art form that was entirely created by us.
I understand.
And it has to be sustained by us.
Yeah, one day we got to have a conversation about how people feel that I think people talk about hip hop as if it's glass or paper or some material that is so delicate and so it's precious. It doesn't mean that it's immediately breakable.
Well, but anything born of fire is not going to be delicate.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
It can.
However,
it's durable.
However, bro. If it strays too far from its roots, then it will become delicate. In my opinion, I think hip hop needs to have a certain baseline understanding of where like the core of the music comes from, right?
Sure.
And so, anyway, we can get into it for a lot longer, but we won't. But that was my current obsession, y'all. Y'all should check out the show.
It's a dope show on Netflix.
It's fire.
It's cool. Mm-hmm. Same on the same kind of thread. I was digging in the crates of my music. I'm a music head, and every so often I like to go back to music that I used to listen to when I was in high school and middle school. A young warthog. Man, I got back into Bone Thugs and Harmony. Man, when I tell you, man, I used to listen to these dudes all the time. There's so many different wastes of storage and memory on computers in my house back in the day on dial-up, trying to download every single song that I could find on LimeWire and all of this other stuff. So it was cool to kind of get back into that, and then also just specifically like just their story and how they started, like the audition that they gave Easy, is like it's a legendary, kind of underrated story in hip hop, like because it was Boyz II Men has a story like that when they rapped in front of Michael Bivins in front of a tour bus.
Correct.
Same thing with Bone Thugs. Like Bone Thugs, they from Ohio, from Cleveland, and
I would have never guessed.
And I think Easy had called them on the phone, and I think Busy had answered the phone, and it's 5 of them, but Busy had answered the phone. He was like, "This is Easy E," and Busy was like, "Fuck." He gave the phone to Crazy, and Crazy just started rapping, and everything started from there. That's nice. So there's an interview with them when they were super young, like fresh out, and Easy's with them, and that you don't see anything past that. Once you get, that's the last
video
of Easy. No,
in general,
no, there's
back
not a lot.
Then there just wasn't. People did not have First of all, everybody didn't have phones. Phones certainly didn't have.
This is 93,
yeah,
90,
there are
92.
No cell phones. If there was not a camera crew, you did not see these people.
Yeah. So
or if you weren't in a concert, you didn't see them.
Yeah, so it's just dope to kind of go back to that. And I used to listen to them all the time, and going back to Crossroads, obviously. And then going back to like some of these, they have some of the, like, in my opinion, some of the greatest verses in hip hop. And they're the only rap group to have a song with Biggie and Tupac. Like not a oh, we just took, they died, so we took some verses from here. They do that to Biggie all the time, where they'll take a verse from Biggie and put him in a song, and it's featuring Biggie. It's like
they were in the studio with these two men.
They have records with, like, real records with the two of them, and they're the only rap group to do it. And it was just.
Do you have a
fantastic
favorite Bone Thugs song? Or just one that you listen to on repeat?
For the Love of Money, for sure.
Okay.
For the Love of Money, Thuggish Ruggish Bone. Crossroads is the biggest, probably, song that they've had. I think they won a Grammy for that song, if I'm not mistaken. But then I can go into some of their, like, later stuff, like Resurrection. I really enjoy Busy and Crazy rapping.
Okay.
Like, because I feel like they're the more prolific rappers. And then it's cool to listen to them too, because I can hear, even in, like, Wishbone, for example, because there's 5 of them. Wish, Flesh, Busy, Lazy, Crazy. And Wish in particular is fascinating because he reminds me so much of Takeoff for some reason.
Really?
And, like, a lot of the styles and how they rap, I can see how, kind of like Takeoff specifically, because he was a prolific rapper in Migos too, in my opinion. He was, like, probably the best out of the 3 of them. Offset's my favorite personally as a rapper, but I think, everyone could give it to Takeoff as being the one, right? Yeah. And but his cadence and how he raps, it reminds me of them. And I think there was an interview of him talking about that shit too. It's like them talking about Bone Thugs. I was like, wow. This is so cool. See that again? Hip hop it's a big genre. It's look how this 30-40 years, like, it's just really cool, man. Yeah. So that was my current obsession.
I love that for you. I actually never got into Bone Thugs and Harmony.
I'm not surprised
at all.
Yeah, it missed a couple people because it was the time in which they came out. It was a very interesting. They came out in the early '90s and stuff, so it probably missed a few people. But yeah, big group, big deal.
That's fire though.
So
dope.
Yeah,
okay.
Man.
Well, we got a Are We in Like or Love, babe?
Okay.
I'm gonna let you take it away.
Listen, man, I ain't even gonna
go on and get into it.
I ain't even gonna
talk to the people.
Listen, man.
At
the time of this recording, you hear me?
At this very moment.
At the time of this recording, bro, Kendrick Lamar dropped a new album, project. I don't really know if it's to be honest, it says it's an album on Spotify, but I'm gonna let it sit because it just feels so.
It's an album. It's an album.
But yeah, he dropped a new album, GNX, which is, I believe, named after a car that was very popular in the 80s in Cali. And it is the West Coast version of K-Dot. I don't even really know if this is K-Dot or I saw a tweet the other day. People was like, is this Kendrick Lamar, K-Dot, or Kung Fu Kenny? And man, I don't know.
He might just drop the K and just become Dot.
I think it might just be Dot, man.
For real.
It's a really good listen. It's incredible. It's a different take. He's not telling. You know, Kendrick is one of those people where those artists where you have to like sit with what the theme of what he's trying to like come across. Like when you think about Big Steppers and Mr. Morale, like there's a theme in there, like him healing and therapy and him trying to battle the demons that he has. You think of Good Kid, Mad City, it's the story of his childhood, like him being in high school and navigating these tough LA streets, Compton streets or whatever. You think about To Pimp a Butterfly, where he was breaking the mold in terms of the jazz and using more eclectic sounds and all this other stuff. You think about Damn, where he was just, again, telling stories.
Right.
But this feels like this is super West Coast.
It feels like a love letter. It in this, not in its contents, but it feels like a true tribute to where he's from, right? Like it cannot be denied. Yeah. Every single track, he was like, how much more West Coast sound can I stuff into this? Like he is putting together.
Production is incredible.
The production quality is insane, as it always is, but he is putting together rhythms that regionally you cannot deny what this is from. There is one of the songs that I was like, this is definitely a Tupac sample.
Oh, like, 100%.
Yeah.
Reincarnated, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So far, I mean, I'm just happy we got Squabble Up.
Oh, Squabble Up.
Which is a reincarnated, life goes on, I need all my babies. Yeah, we got that whole song. Was happy as fuck about that.
Yeah, 100%.
For that song alone, I'm 100%. Like, it's a love.
100%.
It's a love. But as I continue to listen to it, like with all Kendrick projects, it's going to be something that really sits on you. It's nothing he ever gives you is a snack. It's a full course meal, okay? It is you gonna get your yams on this. Like, you can eat on it for a really, really, really long time.
And I think it's an album where it's not necessarily about the whole. You can pick it up. It's easier to pick apart by song. Like I think about To Pimp a Butterfly, when it's like how much $1 really costs, where he's telling a story, right?
Yeah.
Reincarnated on the album is he's telling a story. So
100%.
you can sit with the song individually on this album, which is refreshing, because Kendrick, you have to like Damn is the whole, you have to do the whole album.
Correct.
And understand the whole album in its totality. This, correct, as you said, is a love letter to me. It just kind of feels like, each song has it's all LA. That's it. It's LA. Yeah. It's West Coast. I'm paying homage. Like that's all it is. Like he has LA West Coast rappers on there that most people may not even know. Those are the only real features he has. SZA's on a couple, like I can hear her singing, which is that's so cool to me.
Together, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. It's cool. I already have a couple like favorite songs, but it came out as the time of this recording, so it's gonna be interesting what floats to the top in terms of like, and for the Super Bowl, I'm also trying to listen to it to figure out which of these is going to end up in the set list too. So I'm having
Whacked Out Murals.
Whacked Out Murals.
First of all, Whacked Out Murals is going to be
first song
picked apart. Line by line is going to be picked apart.
100%.
That one is super fire. Gloria is super fire.
Gloria is fire.
Reincarnated, stupid.
Yeah, I like the Heart Part 6.
Yes.
So that's another thing that I think is fantastic. I was damn near in tears when in the middle of towards the end of this this war that happened. Okay, just only but so few months ago, when at the end of it, Drake done named a song the Heart Part 6, and Kendrick had
was it the Heart Part 6?
That's what Drake named it.
That's what he named it?
Yeah, that's what he named it. And then Kendrick took one of Drake's time records, which is
one of his time stamps.
A big deal. And I was just like, Jesus Christ, these niggas done ended the series
that they had created.
As fans of these two, come on now.
Ain't stop nothing.
Shout out to Kendrick. I think Drake should do the same thing, but that's a whole nother thing, because Drake can't seem to drop music without tripping and falling. I don't know why. It's not the music.
It's a bubble. What is it? The braids?
Must be the braids.
It's the bobos.
Maybe it is the braids.
It's the braids.
Man.
He gotta
cut your hair, Drake.
He gotta cut his hair off. He gotta go back to
fuck man.
What is it?
Nothing was the same, Drake. With the fade and the thing.
He's gotta go back to Nothing Was the Same. Yeah, he's gotta go back.
But no, man, I can't. I ain't trying to put too much gas on it. You already know. If you listen to us long enough, you already know what type of podcast this is. But
we are Kendrick fans. That's never stands. That's not going to change. If you feel some type of way about that, again, you always have
feel free.
Our welcome to go with God. But we love Kendrick Lamar over
love
here.
Him, bro.
But we can be objective. You know what I'm saying? We'll tell you if we don't like anything. But that's not really gonna happen because Kendrick's the greatest. So. With that being said, I think it's a love for me right now. Kendrick has done so much for this game, and he means so much to our relationship. Like
that too.
That it's going to be very rare for me to start out at a like. Like the only thing I've probably ever liked, and it had to grow into a love. Was To Pimp a Butterfly.
Which
just
for
because
most
it's
people.
A complex album. It's very emotionally dense, and it's chaotic on purpose because that's how he felt when he was developing it. He was in a state of chaos.
Yeah. Iconic album art too. To Pimp a Butterfly.
Stunning.
I got the vinyl.
Just for I alone.
Oh man. I remember when they released the artwork for and there was no semblance of a song, and I was just like, what is this gonna be?
Yeah. We were spazzed.
I was flipping out.
We were wilding.
I don't know what this is gonna sound like.
Wait. I mean, especially to be the album that comes after Good Kid, Mad City. The anticipation was through
insane.
the roof.
I think it was 5 years because he takes 5. Used to.
He 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5.
It used to take 5-ish years. So
understand me, but yeah, it's a love for us. Let us know what y'all think.
Yeah, it's a love, man. Shout out to Kid Up.
Shout out to Dot.
Wow.
The God. Okay, babe. Do you have? Oh, actually, I have a member when. And so our member when in, commemoration of Thanksgiving that is coming up this week. Big Turkey Day.
By the time y'all hear this, it'll be a couple of days away from it. Yeah, only like 2 or 3 days from it.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Do y'all remember the very first dish you were allowed to make for Thanksgiving? Like, you a big kid now. You not just coming there with your empty belly and the styrofoam takeaway plates. You got to come with something. And I'm not talking about you who's on napkin duty. Okay, you're not in charge of bringing the ice. I'm talking about the very first time. Y'all remember when? The very first time you was trusted to make a dish. Okay. Do you have one?
Yeah. You want me to go first?
Go for it, baby.
It was curry chicken for me.
Curry chicken.
It was curry chicken for me.
Okay.
Jamaican.
Big Jamaican.
Guys I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? So our Thanksgivings didn't look like turkey and cranberry sauce and all this other stuff. It more so looked like curry chicken, brown stew chicken.
Come on.
If we were lucky, maybe oxtail. We used to spend Thanksgiving sometimes in Queens, growing up in New York, being in the Bronx. And sometimes we didn't. It looked like soup, manishwata or goat head soup for those who don't know what manishwata is. But yeah, so curry chicken was a big deal, kind of.
Okay.
And that was my first.
Curry chicken. What age were you?
Oh shit.
When you were finally able to contribute.
Actually, I think I was finally able to contribute when I moved down here.
So was that like 15?
Probably like 15, 16.
No way. You was cooking curry chicken for the family at 15. Not
15,
bad.
16. Maybe 16, but yeah.
Okay. That's sick. My first dish out, they were like, okay, yeah, you can make this, was the mac and cheese. The macaroni pie specifically, right? So Carrick's Jamaican. I'm Bajan and Guyanese descent. So in Barbados, you don't have like mac and cheese, so it's not like soft, right? Like when you cut the mac and cheese and you pull it out, it's not stringy or anything like that. Macaroni pie is exactly what it sounds like. It is dense. It is heavy. It's like a cake. When you cut into it and you pull it out,
it stands on its own.
That thing is a block like this.
You can pick it up.
You could pick it up. It's like a cube. It has 6 sides. Like macaroni pie there's nothing like it. Sorry. Like you guys, respectfully, you know, because I'm still a Southern girl, you know what I mean? So I know there are levels to this macaroni thing, but still, to this day, I still ain't taste nothing like a good macaroni pie, like mac and cheese. All my Caribbean people, all my Bayesian people, if y'all out there, listen, stand up, say what's up, because macaroni pie is different. Yeah, so that was the first thing I was allowed to make.
That's a tall order.
It is a tall order. It is a tall order because it's hard.
Yeah.
Because the ingredients, like, because they will congeal, right? Because you have egg, you have the, you know, breadcrumbs that you put on top, you have the, you know, mustard and all that. And don't screw up your face. If you know, you know. When you mixing all that stuff up, you have to have muscles, like, to really get it and make sure it's evenly distributed throughout the macaroni pie, because you will mess around and have like chunks of certain ingredients if it's not properly distributed, like in the macaroni pie. So yeah, that was the first meal I was really allowed to make. And my dad was always the cook. Right? Like my mom was the sous chef and my dad was the cook when it came to Thanksgiving. He did not play around. Everybody had a job to do and you had to do it or you was going to get kicked in the chest, as he would say. So, yeah, when I made the macaroni pie, he was like, all right, baby, you got it. You can go ahead and make that. So that's still my thing. I'm definitely going to be making that, for this year. When we go over to my mom. So yeah, man.
Fair enough.
I'm so excited. Thanksgiving is literally my favorite holiday. Because there's no obligation other than everybody getting around your favorite food.
Yeah.
The best version of your favorite food, eating to your heart's content and sitting around and talking. And or like getting into games or watching something. Like it's just the best. It's designated quality time with the fam.
Everybody sit the F down.
Sit down and get into it. So yeah, I'm excited, man.
Fair enough.
Put in the comments what's your favorite thing to cook for Thanksgiving specifically. Okay. What is that? Let us know in the comments. Okay. We want to wrap this thing up with some Am I Tripping? Or no?
Oh no, we got one's gotta go.
Forgot.
Yeah. I got you.
Sync. One's gotta go, babe.
All right. One's gotta go. Never work again. Never pay for anything. Never get sick. Never age. Say one more time.
Yes.
Never work again. Never pay for anything. Never get sick. Never age.
One's gotta go. When you say never work again,
okay,
does that mean that basically my income is secured forever, for always? Is that what that means? I mean, you're reading the card, so you can define it.
I think never work again means
am I just a bum for the rest of my days?
You never have to work for the things you want, I think. Let's keep it that way.
That's how we're gonna keep it. I'm definitely keeping never get sick. Never. I'll go ahead and keep never work again, because God, I can just think of look at all the activities we could do if I don't have to give the best hours of my day, 8 hours of my day, to someone else for compensation. I'm definitely keeping that.
I'll do it this way. If you were to never work again, whatever your life is right now is how it is.
Yeah,
it stays
my income.
Yes.
My quality.
So it doesn't go up.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go down.
I'm fine with that.
It just stays where it's at.
And I get my time back? Yeah, for sure. I guess I'll have to, and this is probably, I don't know, maybe this is going to sound silly, but maybe never age. I think I could get rid of that. I I do want to stay looking youthful, obviously. But I don't want to be a vampire out here. Like, I know, like, black already don't crack. And I know what my mama look like. I'm good in these streets. Like, I'm going to be fine. But if me and my child start to, like, equal out in our age, like, in our appearance, that's going to be pretty hard to explain. Like, I don't know. And if I pick that and you know, don't, like, are you just gonna look like a sugar daddy for the rest of your days? Like, I don't know. I don't know how, like, at according to, in comparison to all the other things that you named, I just don't know if that one is as valuable as never having to work again, never getting sick again. I don't know if y'all can hear it. I kind of got a head cold right now, y'all. Like, we wasn't playing in the last episode when we were talking about, oh, you know, the weather flip-flopping back and forth. It'll be 80 degrees in the evening, but 20 degrees in the morning. It is for real like that, y'all. And it is taking me out at the knees as we speak. So never getting sick again is like, I'd pay whatever.
Can we rank? We can maybe rank these. So what would be your first thing to, like, your priority?
Never get sick.
Never get sick. Second thing?
If I can guarantee that I will be healthy for the rest of my days, that is more valuable than anything else in the world.
Fair enough. Second to
that? Never work again.
And then never pay for anything is third.
I love the idea of never paying for anything.
Yeah, I think that's first for me. I think I will go.
Never paying for anything is sick.
Yeah, I think I will go never.
You're telling me literally anything I want, it just zeroes out at the cart?
Yeah.
Like, anything that I put in my shopping cart and they say pay now, $0.00.
Yeah, actually, I would probably do never pay for anything first, never get sick, never age, and I would let go of never work again. I'd work.
Okay.
But
like working for pay?
Because
there's plenty of stuff you can do that's considered work, but you'll just never get paid for it.
But I never have to pay for anything.
That's a fact.
So I just work on things that I like.
That you like this podcast.
Like, my work is what I enjoy. I just turn my passion and what I love.
I low-key forgot about never pay for anything again. That one is, yeah. But yeah, I think never aging.
Because the first thing
So you would keep don't age.
I would
let go.
If I have to let go one, I would let go of
never work again.
Never work again, because I never have to pay for anything.
Well, if you never have to pay anything and I never have to work again,
so
we just gonna be in that.
And by the way, if I never have to pay for anything, what? I'm walking into private jet stores. Okay, I'm walking into
private jet stores is wild.
Right, I'm walking up to these white men like, "Hey,
talking stupid.
Give me that one.
I want it.
It seats 25. Sir, give it to me."
But sir, you need to have a black card. Shut up. Smack him to and fro.
Facts.
With the white glove. So funny.
Facts,
I love
man.
that one. Okay, dope. Okay, so now we can get into Am I Tripping?
All right, we got Oh, well, I'm not going to look at these. We got 3 cards. I think that'll finish us off here.
Pow. All right. Dang, I got a long one. Okay. So yes, am I tripping? I was fed up with my friend's antics 2 days into a girls' trip. Every time we went out to eat, she complained about her food or the service to get her meal for free. Dang. Finally, I snapped at her. If you're broke, just say that.
Oh, dear.
And I'll buy your food. Damn. She was very offended. But I was tired of her making us look like scammers. Am I tripping?
Brokey. Shout out to Lotto.
Shout out. Girl gotta wait till it's her birthday to go out of town. Ooh. Yeah, no, that is real brokey behavior. I don't like it. And I would have told my friend the same thing. I'd have been like, you know what? Not for nothing, I do have a friend that whenever we go somewhere and the service to her is even remotely subpar, she's going to call the manager and like ask for something. I don't know if she does this anymore, but like basically make it an issue. And we always be like, Are you really gonna do this everywhere we go? We at Taco Mac, sis. Like, what is you talking about? Like, it's not gonna be like, you're not in Nobu. It's not gonna be this, whole experience. Like, you got college students as waitresses, huh?
Give me an example. She complained about like the taste of the food or like the wait time for.
It could literally be anything.
Oh shit!
It could literally be anything. It could be either the food is taking too long, or the like quality of her drink doesn't look like somebody else's that she sees across the room. And it was just, I'm not a huge complainer when I go out to eat. Like, I'm going to get what I feel as though is going to be standard. Something that I'm not going to be like disappointed in or anything like that. And even if somebody gets something wrong, as long as it's edible or as long as I like it, I'll stick with it, right? Like, if I ordered for instance, fish and chips, right? And I thought that, for the side, I ordered no hush puppies, but hush puppies come out anyway because it's standard with the meal. I just won't eat the hush puppies. I'm not going to be like, take this back. Like, things like that to me is not very intense. I mean, obviously, if there's something wrong, or if you have an allergy, or if it's simply not what you wanted, or you taste something and you're like, I'm sorry, I thought I was going to like this, but I don't. Do you mind sending this back? Like, that's fine. That's standard. At the end of the day, you're paying for the food. But in the card, she said she explicitly complains about the food and causes a scene so that she doesn't have to pay for it. So that she can get it for free.
Yeah.
Then cook at home, hun.
Well, I think the intention is to get free food, which is,
that's 100% the intention.
Which is big.
Brokey energy.
Yeah, that's brokey energy. That's not scammer energy. That's kind of brokey.
It's brokey, and it's embarrassing. Every single time we go out, if you don't have the money, just say that. Like, just like the friend said. And she can be mad. She can be upset. That's fine. But you know who's also upset? Me. Every single time I have to sit here and watch you complain to the manager for 20 to 25 minutes about what you are not going to pay for.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I know, I don't complain about food, but I sometimes struggle with like drinks. Like, I'll order a drink and then not like it. It might be too strong or whatever. Like, I fuck around and order an old fashioned. And then I get it, and I'm just like, bro, it's too old fashioned. It's too old, bro.
It's too old.
It's too old,
it tastes
bro.
Like alimony.
And there's no fashion. It's not pretty. It's like
it's not cute.
It's not cute.
It don't even have like a little smoke in it. It don't even got the big ice cube.
I mean, sometimes, that is cool.
That is
cool, and smoky and shit. But
yeah,
it be too strong. But I'm not gonna give it back. Some people do that and like, can you switch this out for something else? I'm always too scared because I'm not trying to pay for 2 drinks.
That's a fact.
And if I already put my
it's already
sipped it,
15.
Like, come on, bro.
It's already 15 minum.
So I try to stick to my Long Islands and margaritas. That's and a fact. Moscow mules. The rivers
and the lakes that you used to. Y'all out here trying to get zesty. I mean, you have been, dibbling and dabbling in the lychee territory.
Oh, lychees is fire. Lychee. Shout out to lychee drinks. You know what I'm saying? I'll be into that.
That little fruit got you with a chokehold.
A minute of that.
Every time you see something with a lychee, you like, well, let me get the little, like, go ahead, let me get that lychee on you. Yeah, for sure. But no, that's big brokey behavior. Yeah. We have time for one more?
I think I put it back. We might have 2 more.
Hold on. I think I literally put it on top. Or did you move
that was this one.
Okay, bet.
I'll read this one.
Okay,
Let's
cool.
see. My mother sends more gifts and spends more time with my daughter than my wife's daughter from a previous relationship.
Ooh.
My wife believes it is because my mom is playing favorites. However, I believe my mom when she says that the age difference between the girls makes my younger daughter easier to shop for and more interesting to hang out. Do I need to read that again?
No, I got it.
Got it?
Yeah. Am I tripping?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, so basically, if I'm understanding that correctly, this is a fella who has 2 children.
Yep.
One of which is from his previous relationship and one is from his current relationship.
Yep.
The current relationship is the younger child, and
he has $2. One is from his relationship with his current wife, and one is from his wife's. So he's a stepfather.
Okay.
Yeah, it's his wife's has a daughter.
Okay.
And then they have a daughter together.
Okay.
So he has a child with her.
So basically, there's a biological grandchild for his mom,
and
and
boom,
then a step grandchild.
A step grandchild.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that there could be some bias there. Obviously, I mean, one of them is her biological grandchild, while the other one is her step grandchild. There is probably a closer relationship there. Excuse me, but I don't think it is incorrect to say that the perception that there is favorites can be detrimental, right? Like, no kid wants to feel like they're the one that nobody wants. And if you can see the love, attention, and affection that your sibling is getting that you are not getting, as a child, your world is very small.
They know it immediately. I feel like
they can see it. They can compare. They can see and
sense it.
The intention, and they can sense it, right? And coming into a blended family, I don't know this firsthand. However, I could imagine that would be really difficult, right? Like, you acquired a new, a father figure who has, his own child, or he who didn't have a child, and then you and him and your mom got together, and then you guys have a little sister, and so that transition is really difficult for the child. And so if I was the wife, I would be incredibly sensitive to that as well, being like, maybe your mom can take both of them out and make her feel a bit more engaged in that level of affection, because there's nothing like a grandmother's love. If you ain't never been hugged by your Mimi, your grandma, your Nana, your Mima, whatever you call her, okay, you know what it feels like to be loved by a grandmother. You know what I'm saying? And like, when you see that being extended to someone and you are on the outside of that, it's cold. It's cold. And I'm sure the grandmother doesn't intend for that to be the impact that she's having on this other young lady. She may not be intending for that to be her impact. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. But I do think it's something that should be brought up. I mean, kids, my dad used to tell us all the time, you can't do for one and not the other. You just can't. He used to have to tell my aunts that all the time, like, on his side of the family. You cannot do for one and not the other. If I see you sending something for one, I will literally throw it away. Like, they won't see it, because you're not going to give one and treat the other one like a redheaded stepchild. It's just not going to happen. You're going to give all my kids or none of them, period.
Yeah, so, I'm curious to know that. I mean, first of all, it's hard when it's, I mean, mixed family is one thing. Blended family is one thing. But it's hard when you have multiple kids of the same household. Yeah. Like, trying to balance all of their different personalities and making them all feel special. You have middle child syndrome and first child expectations, because they're the first and the oldest, and then the baby who sometimes, it's, I was a baby, right, in the house, so I kind of understand that part too. But I see both sides. I see where because it's the younger daughter that is the biological
correct
granddaughter. Granddaughter. And so I think that dynamic is interesting, because the wife's the stepdaughter is, or the step granddaughter is, coming in as an older girl. So it's interesting, at the end of the card, it's like the reasoning behind it is like, well, the younger one is easier to shop for and stuff like that. And so I can see that part, but I can also see, like, you're a grandmother, like, to your point, like, take them both out.
Just try harder.
Try a little harder.
She's easier to shop for. Have you seen a teenager? Like, there's nothing that they don't want, right? Like, just get to know her. Just kind of get a better understanding of what it is that she likes, and
it'd be nice to know the ages, like, because if it's like 9 and 2, okay, that's interesting. Like. Yeah, it might be easier to shop for a 2-year-old.
What if one's a teenager? Like, I just assumed,
like a 15 and 4 or something like that. Like, that
feels like worlds apart, right? It's different. Easier. especially if you have like a little baby. I mean, naturally, grandmothers are just going to gravitate towards the little squishies, and and it may be her first grandchild, like her first biological grandchild. So there's a lot of factors that play into that, right? But at the same time, it's not about you.
I'm not gonna lean towards the grandmother doing it intentionally, but
No,
it's
I don't
possible.
think yeah, of course
it's 100% possible.
Of course, it's possible.
And it could be for
crazy.
a myriad of reasons. I mean, I'm expanding the card here, but it could be. I mean, maybe she doesn't like she's never liked the fact that the wife had a child outside. You know, grandmothers can tend to be a little bit more old fashioned, judgy.
What if she's still, what if she's like, I don't feel like you should ever got divorced from Tracy. Y'all should have worked it out.
Big messy.
It can get complicated.
Get complicated. So,
but yeah, I do think. The question was he tripping, right? As far as like being concerned. I don't think he's tripping. I think, when you have two kids, you have to make sure that they are both being loved and nurtured in the way that they need to be. Deserve to be. So
I see both sides on that.
100%.
Take the last one.
Ooh.
Can end on this.
Okay. So my kid should have way more structure at home, but my wife says doing things her way is best. She told me if I wanted everything done my way, I should stay home and do it. I snapped back that we don't have the luxury of me being a lazy stay. A lazy stay at home dad because someone has to pay the bills. Am I tripping? That was so mean.
Is it the mom? No, my wife.
Yes.
My wife. Okay, so it's the husband.
He says my kid should have way more structure at home, but my wife says doing things her way is best because she's a stay-at-home mom.
Interesting.
And basically she's like, well, if you want things done your way, then you should do it. And he was like, excuse me, brokey, but one of us has to put food on this table, and at the very least, you should be disciplining these kids since you here all day.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
so is he tripping? Is he tripping?
I think he might be tripping.
That was so mean.
Yeah,
why would you
I think he's tripping.
Partner that way?
I think he's tripping with his delivery.
Oh, it's not the best.
I understand the concern. You know, you're at work all day and you feel like certain things should be happening in the house as far as like easy things with kids, where most parents have like problems with. It's like chores, pick up after yourself.
Yeah.
Wash the dishes.
100%.
Take out the, I mean, sometimes it's the attitude, but a lot of the times it's just like, bro, take the damn trash out.
But creating structure requires a person to be structured, right?
Sure.
What if you are not a structured person? So instilling that in someone else is just not your strong suit, right? Like he may be expecting her to be a disciplinarian, but what if that's just not her strong suit? You have to accept that that in a partnership, there are things that you're strong in where your partner may be weak in, and that could be frustrating. But understanding that and working through that is a part of the partnership, right? Like I think using the L word is egregious. When you call somebody lazy, that is a swear in our house. Like I could never call Carrick lazy. It would be the most. It would be the worst thing I could call him.
I would let you land.
I don't know if you would.
That's fair too.
You are deeply offended by that word.
I am.
You are deeply offended by that word.
It's a traumatizing word.
And like for good reason, right? For someone to take your efforts or the quality of your efforts and basically to diminish them is really hurtful.
And there's also a power dynamic
100%.
situation happening here because
100%.
It's the chicken or the egg. Like you have to go work and make money and bring back, hunt and gather, right?
Okay.
And all that, hunt and retrieve and bring home the bacon.
Yeah.
Valid.
Sure.
Valid. But you have kids and you have a wife and a partner. She stays at home. And so she's tending to the home. That is a job. Like, I know this is going to give pick me energy, but like, that is a job. Staying home and tending to kids and stuff like that. Contrary to popular belief, some of you niggas, like, bro, this shit is
it's difficult.
It's a difficult thing to do, and I think he's only tripping in the delivery because, like, yeah, if you see that, like, your kid's bathroom or his room is always dirty and you've been at work all day and it's like a thing that you only get to tell him or her at 9 o'clock, because that's when you get home, right? Yo, clean your room. Like, that's when you start parenting.
100%.
Like, I can see how that can be frustrating, but it's just about your delivery. Like, ask instead of implying, maybe.
Yes, to me, it's a matter of, like, unspoken and unmet expectations, right? Like, when you don't tell somebody what it is that you're expecting from them, and then they don't deliver on that, and then you articulate your disappointment in an expectation you never expressed, then it's blindsiding that person, right? I don't know if this has been a continuous conversation, but if your expectation is for your wife to create a structured household in the fashion that you believe it should be, then that has to be articulated. But at the same time, she has a point in the sense that if you're not here to reinforce that structuring, okay, you can be in a marriage and be a single parent, right? Like, if you feel as though you're the only person rearing and raising these kids, then please have several seats, okay? Yes, you keep the lights on, and we appreciate you for that, but you cannot critique what you do not contribute to.
Yeah, and because you could easily do it the other way. It's like, you're never home. It's like, bro, I work.
Yeah, I that is correct.
Like,
and as long as go ahead, I'm sorry.
My occupation, my mom is a nurse, bro. Like, she works 12-hour shifts standard. Like, that's not even to talk about all of the other jobs that she's had over her career while also being, like, a nurse full time. Working at multiple hospitals, a nursing home, and all this other stuff. There'd be days before I would see my mom, not because she's just out doing shit. She's going from job to job to job. Literally, job to job to job.
She was a single mom.
Yeah, so, you have to work. And so she could easily make the same complaint. Nigga, you ain't never here.
100%.
So it's a power dynamic thing. People, they're not seeing the other side of how the other person is, like, trying to contribute. One is trying to contribute in a way that the other person doesn't understand fully how it works, because she's not working and he's not at home. So if they were to switch, they would quickly understand.
I bet they both shut up.
They'd be like, oh wow, this is difficult.
Never mind.
Yeah.
As you were.
Yeah. So
So it's wild. Anywho, well, if you guys have made it to the end of the podcast, thank you. We appreciate you. Again, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Okay. Follow us on all the things. One Thing for Certain Pod. Okay. On TikTok, on YouTube, Obvi, on Instagram. Check us out. Okay. Tell a friend and tell a friend. And we will see you in the next one. Happy Thanksgiving, you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have a safe one.
Where you go after this, make sure you go with
Don't
God.
burn down your houses with them turkeys.
Yeah, because listen, if y'all gonna fry them turkeys,
number one hazard around this time.
It sure is. Y'all gonna burn down your whole house. Okay. Don't do it. All right. But be blessed, be safe, and no matter where you go after this, make sure you go with God. Okay.
Go with God.
It's a One Thing for Certain podcast, y'all. Peace.
Deuces.